Welcome to CurioSphere. In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you 13 principles to rewrite your future, but only if you're willing to try at least one today. Before we begin, remember this. Most people hear advice, nod politely, and then keep living the same way. This video is different, so as you listen, don't just understand, decide where you will use it. Principle 1. Desire. Every change begins with a clear desire, not a wish, not a vague hope, but a definite, "This is what I want." Hill gives the example of Edwin C. Barnes, a man with no money, no connections, and one burning thought: "I will become a partner of Thomas Edison." It sounded impossible, but that desire shaped every decision he made. He traveled on a freight train just to reach Edison. He took any job that got him inside the door. He waited and grabbed the chance when it came. Desire turns into direction, only when you commit to it. So here's your action. Take 30 seconds and write down one clear desire you truly want in your life. Not one day. A real target with meaning, because until your desire is defined, your path has nothing to follow. Principle 2. Faith. A desire without belief stays on paper. Hill shares the story of Charles Schwab, a young steel worker with a bold vision for the future of steel. He didn't wait for approval. He shared his idea privately with two giants, J.P. Morgan and Albert H. Gary. Then came the real test. Schwab presented the same idea publicly, in a hall full of influential businessmen. His confidence was contagious. That belief traveled beyond the room, all the way to Andrew Carnegie. Carnegie didn't just invest in the idea. He invested in Schwab's faith in that idea. That belief led to U.S. Steel, one of the biggest and richest corporations in the world. Hill's message is simple. The world follows people who believe deeply enough to speak boldly. So here's your action. Read your desire aloud, as if you are presenting it to someone who can change your future. When you speak your belief, you train yourself, and eventually, the world hears it too. Principle 3. You become what you repeatedly tell yourself. Desire gives direction. Faith energizes it, but belief fades unless you reinforce it. Napoleon Hill calls this autosuggestion. He illustrates it through his own son. Born without ears, doctors said he would never hear or speak. Hill refused to accept that verdict. From infancy, he repeatedly fed the child's mind with conviction. You will hear. You will communicate. There is something stronger in you than this limitation. Those repeated words shaped the boy's identity. He learned to sense vibrations. He used technology. And eventually, he became a speaker, helping others overcome hearing challenges. Your mind becomes what you feed it. Here's what you need to do. Read your desire aloud, every morning for 7 days, as if it is already unfolding. Repetition isn't magic, it is conditioning. Principle 4. Specialized knowledge creates value. Belief gives energy, but belief without capability stalls. Napoleon Hill illustrates this through Henry Ford. Ford was mocked in court for not knowing basic facts any schoolboy could recite. Instead of defending himself, Ford calmly explained. He didn't carry information in his head because he had buttons on his desk. That summoned experts who knew what he didn't. His genius wasn't memory. It was focusing on building automobiles and surrounding himself with the right knowledge. Hill's point is simple. Success doesn't come from knowing everything, but from knowing what is relevant to your goal and applying it. So here's your action. Look at your desire and ask, what one skill or knowledge, if I improve it, will move me closer to this desire? Write it down, because when belief connects with capability, progress becomes inevitable. Principle 5. Your imagination is where your future is built. You now have a desire. You have belief to fuel it. You have a skill pathway to develop. But knowledge alone doesn't create results. It needs a creative spark. Napoleon Hill says every fortune begins as a picture in someone's mind, long before it exists in the world. He shares the story of a young man who bought a drink formula almost nobody cared about. What he really bought was a vision. He imagined that this drink could spread across cities, then states, then the entire world, even though nothing suggested it would. That man was Asa Candler. The drink was Coca-Cola. Your future exists in imagination before it exists in reality. Here is your action. Spend 60 seconds picturing your desire as already unfolding. What has changed? What does that life feel like? what unfolds when it happens. Don't analyze, just visualize. Principle 6. Imagination becomes real only when you organize it into a plan. Desire gives direction. Imagination gives shape. But a vision without movement stays trapped in your mind. Barnes didn't just want partnership, he positioned himself near Edison. Schwab didn't just believe, he presented and prepared. Candler didn't just picture a beverage empire, he built distribution, marketing, and expansion systems. Planning turns imagination visible. Here is the action you need to take. Take your desire and the skill you identified. Write one simple step you can take this week that moves you closer. Don't wait for a perfect plan. Start with a small, organized step. Movement, even tiny, is imagination made real. Principle 7. Success belongs to those who decide, not those who wait. Many people dream. Many plan. Very few decide. Hill observed that achievers decide quickly and change slowly, while the unsuccessful take forever to decide and change their mind at every challenge. Henry Ford was criticized as stubborn, but that stubbornness built factories, industries, and livelihoods for thousands. Indecision is the enemy of progress. Look at the step you wrote in Principle 6. Decide when you will do it. Today? Tomorrow morning? Just write the time, because a plan without a decision is still a wish. Principle 8. The world yields to those who refuse to quit. A decision is powerful, but the moment you make one, life will test it. Napoleon Hill tells the story of R.U. Darby. Darby and his uncle struck gold in Colorado. Early success, early excitement. Then the vein disappeared. Discouraged, they quit, sold their machinery cheap, and walked away. The man who bought the equipment hired an engineer who discovered the gold was just 3 feet beyond where Darby had stopped digging. Darby spent years living with that truth. He quit when he was closest to breakthrough. But he learned. He applied persistence to a new field, insurance, and built an impressive career refusing to accept no. Most people give up right before they reach the gold. Your action. When you face resistance on the step you committed to, treat it as a test, not a signal to stop. You don't need dramatic intensity. You need consistent persistence. Persistence is when your decision becomes your identity. Principle 9. Success accelerates when you stop working alone. Persistence keeps you going, but no one succeeds alone. Hill calls this the mastermind. Andrew Carnegie surrounded himself with thinkers who shaped the steel empire. Henry Ford gathered industrial experts. Thomas Edison worked alongside inventors, chemists, and financiers. A mastermind isn't a big team. It is alignment with someone who strengthens you, challenges you, or supports your journey. Your action. Look at the skill or step you identified earlier. Ask yourself, who is one person that can help me learn, stay motivated, or move faster? Write their name or describe the type of person you need. Principle 10. Your strongest energy must be redirected toward your purpose. Having people around you multiplies effort, but the greatest power you possess lies inside you. Hill calls this the mystery of sex transmutation, the ability to channel emotional energy into ambition, drive, and creation. Achievers learn to redirect passion into work, ideas, and purpose, turning impulse into influence. When that inner force is directed, it becomes confidence, magnetism, and relentless ambition. Your action. Look at your desire. Ask yourself, where am I wasting energy, and how can I redirect it toward what I want? It might be attention. It might be time. It might be emotion. It might be distraction. Because when inner energy flows toward purpose, progress becomes momentum. Principle 11. Your subconscious executes what you plant in it. You now have desire, belief, repetition, skill, imagination, planning, decisions, persistence, support, and inner energy flowing toward your goal. But where does all that go? Hill says it enters your subconscious mind, the invisible engine shaping your habits and behavior. He uses a powerful analogy. Your mind is like fertile soil. If you don't plant desirable seeds intentionally, weeds will grow automatically. Doubt repeated becomes fear. Faith repeated becomes courage. Your subconscious grows whatever you repeatedly feed it. Your action. Catch one negative phrase or thought today and replace it with, "This is moving forward." Because every repeated thought becomes instruction. Principle 12. Your brain is a broadcasting station for your thoughts. If the subconscious is the soil, the brain is the antenna. Hill says the brain sends out the thoughts you hold and attracts equivalent experiences back. Not magic. Alignment. When you focus deeply on a desire, backed by repetition and belief, you begin noticing opportunities, connecting dots, and recognizing openings others overlook. People call it luck, but in reality, the brain is tuned to receive what aligns with your dominant thoughts. Your action. Today, look for one opportunity, however small, that aligns with your desire. A conversation, a resource, a chance to learn, or a place to practice. Because the brain doesn't attract what you want, it attracts what you are tuned to notice. Principle 13. When everything aligns, guidance appears. When desire, belief, imagination, skill, planning, decision, persistence, support, inner energy, subconscious tuning, and mental focus all align, something remarkable occurs. Hill calls it the sixth sense, the quiet guidance that begins to whisper the next move. Hill explained it through his practice of meeting mentally with imagined advisors, Lincoln, Edison, Carnegie, a method he called invisible counselors. Whether you see it as intuition, maturity, creativity, or clarity, guidance emerges after the foundation is built. Your action. For the next 7 days, spend 5 quiet minutes asking yourself, what feels like the next right step for my desire? Don't force answers. Just notice what comes. Because the sixth sense isn't chased. It reveals itself. You've now walked through all 13 principles. Notice something. You didn't just listen to a list. You followed a process. These 13 aren't just ideas, they're a sequence. You start with desire, then belief, then repetition, then skill, and you keep climbing until your own sixth sense begins to guide you. So don't treat this as a video you watched once. Come back to it. Follow the steps in order. Use it like a roadmap whenever you feel stuck. Tell me in the comments, which step are you on? Are you defining your desire, building skill, or already acting on your plan? And if you want more videos that don't just explain books, but walk you through them, like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next step in your journey. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired.